pressure on the squads. There's no reason to hold strats for 3 months, so they're going to just experiment and just try to win games in the most creative way they can.
Does that give the teams going to the major a little bit of a bonus? Because they can actually look at these teams play and go, oh, we can learn something from what they're doing. Or do you not think that carries over?
It's like 3 weeks, 4 weeks after this tournament. It's too much time. There's going to be
little patches in between as well.
Dota is like weekly meta shifts just because of scrims, especially during time off. So I think that this is just going to be 2 teams going all out and
do you think that teams get more out of scrims between tournaments than they do tournaments itself?
I think in tournaments it's about the matches, and so yes, I guess you get more the boot camp scrims.
I mean, certainly, surely at the start of a patch as well. Because like yesterday, Alliance came outside. I spoke to a number of the guys. And they were thrilled that they got to play a lot of scrims yesterday against good teams.
Yeah,
because it's early, right? So they're experimenting.
Yeah, but the idea is like the scrims before the tournament set you up. Like they kind of give you this outline of what you like to do, and you refine that as you play through the tournament.
So it's like confirmation bias a little bit because
you
run something you think will work and it wins, and then you use it in the tournament it doesn't.
The thing is, you can lose a scrim.
Yeah,
you can't really lose the tournament, right? So. I'm playing it.
Oh, I can play. That looks so easy. And then you play it and you're like, oh, this is actually quite difficult.
This hero is impossible. If you talk about difficult heroes.
Yeah.
However, it is very powerful. And
are you on the Pango or the Mars 3 train right now?
If I could, I mean, as a 3, I think you'd probably say it depends on the game, of course, but probably Mars. But I think like 1, 2, 4 Pangos. Excellent. I just like it as an opener because it's more open.
You can play it in a bunch of different roles, right?
Yeah. And we saw him at Tumpleman's Mars. It's definitely something you could run as a 1-2. It's just the problem is like talking about during the cast, the items never change.
Right.
It's not as if you can have a free game, buy a Midas, buy a no.
It's pretty straightforward.
Vlad's Blink, Deso, BKB in some order, and that's way more suited to a 3's itemization route.
Ted, you played much Mars?
Yeah, when he came out, I played him a bit, but I don't know. I got a little bored of it.
You're not subscribing to the Mars a day?
No, we just want one all the time. It was like, this is boring. I want to play heroes I know I can lose on. It's more of a challenge. Yeah, he's stupidly good.
He's too good.
Yeah, at my level in particular, people panic. They're just running into the walls and stuff. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, he's fun. Yeah. He is fun.
The other thing about it, if you compare it to a Pango, the ease of execution to utilize your hero to 100%, and obviously every good players are going to play their heroes to near max capacity, but it's a lot easier to mess up on a Pango. As a Mars, it's like, well, did I hit my speeder?
But do you feel like the skill ceiling is high enough on Mars still that if you play him at 100% and you play Pango at 100%, he'd still be better?
I honestly, it depends on the game. That's like an impossible question.
No,
I just feel like because the skill ceiling is very high on a Pango, and I always feel like that's better for a good player to play than the Mars. There's more room to do stuff.
I remember talking to my brother about this, like when it comes to like Earth Spirit and why you might want to edit the draft at certain times. He's like, look, like he's a great Earth Spirit, right? But he's like, at some point in a fight, I'm gonna miss my role.
Yeah.
And like when you have other heroes, when you have like these Sand Kings, these Earth Shakers, it's more reliable. Exactly. And an immediate Visage, by the way. Very strange, but a great counter to the Rubik. Very low armor on the hero. Difficult to deal with the birds, but the relationship kind of goes both ways because the Fade Bolt damage reduction actually reduces level 2 birds and below to 0 damage.
Wow.
And post talent, I think you get the level 3 birds to near 0, which makes them effectively useless.
Yeah.
However, if you don't get if you use the bolt and then Visage gets a Q on you, you actually just die.
Oh god. I mean, if I'm in a pub game and someone picks Visage, that's it. I know we've lost. That's it. He's one of those heroes. Too strong. If you can play that hero, you're a god.
I like the choice from Secret, just to immediate morph. Even though Liquid lost the previous game, I think it only goes to 53 minutes because of the Miracle Morph and the Curl Rat. But this is Nisha's specialty. This hero was really just not nerfed in the patch. I got no problems with this hero picked at any point.
I got no problems with this guy. You like Morph?
I just said I like Morph.
No, but I mean, do you like to play more?
No. Dude, I don't get to play any Dota.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Too busy
He
work.
hasn't played in like 2 years.
Not
And
true.
some would argue he hasn't played in
I
5.
played.
I did not laugh
Ouch.
at that, Carl.
I was playing a lot when I was staying at Odin Chief, so I got like 4 days in on this patch, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, except for I swear every region doesn't matter where you go. Early morning queues, man, they're terrible. It's like Why?
He streams in the morning. Can you imagine how hard it is
The
for him?
Morning Dotes crew are troopers. We try our best. We try our best.
I've seen you streaming and literally waiting absolute ages for like, what is going on?
It's
Is
pretty
it
bad.
broken? Do I need to
It just matches you with the worst kind of people. It's like, all right, you really want to play? You wait 50 minutes, play against these guys. They're evil.
They've also waited 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Less talking about early morning queues, the better, I think. But you're right. They are
Is
a
that-
struggle.
OD.
And
Shadow
Rust.
Shimmer
Yeah, dude,
back?
I'm realizing I need glasses desperately just to read the draft boards.
And we've actually had an upgrade on that, by
Yeah,
the way,
right,
because
it's a
we had
bigger
the
screen.
smaller version
Yeah, the
earlier
smaller
today,
version
which was tough to read.
It's
Now
only-
you can actually see them.
It's only like what 20 feet, like
Yeah.
2-3 meters away.
Yeah.
But it's no,
Are you
I'm
struggling?
blind. Struggling.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Mars and IO ban by EG.
I think those are good decisions. You think Secret, right? You don't want to let them late pick new heroes. That's just terrifying.
Yeah. We don't know what they'll do with it, and we're going to give them it without a counter.
We don't even know.
Let's
Who
not
knows
do
what a
that.
counter even is? I
Well,
still
quite.
don't know if anyone can counter.
Yeah, well,
IO.
I was going to say, actually, well, wait, what's the counter for Mars then?
I think you just have to be able to
Heroes
press
that
him-
can escape, right?
Yeah, physical damage in the laning phase
Sure.
that can pressure him, minus armor, like
Okay.
heroes like Dazzle. I
But is
think
there
would work.
anything that can get on him?
Magic damage in the late game? Huh?
Okay,
and
magic
the
damage,
ability
okay.
to juke out of the ultimate,
Right.
like blink daggers,
Yes.
Earthshaker Ags,
Yes.
things like
Ember,
this.
I
Yes.
think is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that
Puck,
can just
Quap.
escape. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got to be able to
Storm.
get out of there. 'Cause you get locked
I
in.
think-
We've seen it.
The thing is, it's a hero with a ton of burst damage and a stun. So heroes like Storm, like Puck, like Quap, even though you play well against it, you're always susceptible to just catching a stun and
Yeah,
going
yeah.
down.
What do you think about the Ags upgrade for Mars?
Oh, it's insane. We
Yeah.
saw Vici pull it off, and it was.
crazy, right?
Talking of Ags upgrades, we haven't seen the Willow.
It's.
I know.
I don't know if people. Yeah, but not enough. It's
No.
just. I don't know if people believe in it. It's a bit of a meme, and it's
I know.
terrible to deal with in pubs.
I know.
But in pro matches, I think that it's just not. It's not as broken. Let's be
Okay.
real. And then, hey, there's the Puck. Puck Visage,
Yep.
an old staple, and this also sets him up for a 4th pick Drow. And if there's anything that I know about EG, is that
They
it doesn't
do
matter
play
what
Drow.
you do. Exactly. Well, no, they're gonna. We maybe patched it, but what if we just did the exact same thing we've been doing?
Because it always works.
It does.
Crit plays the Puck for them here, right? Because I've seen him play Puck for them before.
Well, he can,
Sure.
but S4 is
S4
also
could, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Puck player, big Puck player.
But they definitely gave it to Crit last time. I saw them play it. I think it went all right.
I've seen some male play it in this team.
That's another hero you can pretty much play wherever you want.
Yeah.
To
AG definitely do.
Oh,
I like this hero.
I love this hero against Puck too. It's so annoying to play against a Warlock because you're a burst hero. Warlock provides tons of counter initiation. Fatal, you're a low HP hero. You're gonna catch a Fatal Bonds, and you're gonna realize, oh, like I'm dying to my teammates taking damage, and he can sustain through your combos.
Yeah.
Really cool pick.
You loved the old Warlock back in the day, didn't you?
Yeah, I love. Dude, this is my hero. I've
Yeah.
been saying. I told. Was it you? I told somebody. I was like, Warlock is back. The change to the way Fatal Bonds functions makes him way stronger in lane and in early engagements, and you scale. I was just talking, as I was expecting.
Jeez.
You have this 5 position now that will become a force in the game if it continues.
Yeah, he's scary.
And the Drow, it just makes sense, right? It's a good lineup from EG for sure. And it's a nice counter pick to the Morph in the sense that you accelerate the tempo of the game, and then you have a silence to kill him.
Dare I say it's a very Bulba lineup?
Oh, yeah, I mean, the only thing that's shifted is that they picked the Drow 4th and the Pango 1st, when
Right.
a week or two ago they probably would have flipped the positions. But I mean, Drow wasn't changed outside of you can no longer.
The Ancients, right?
Yeah.
But you think she's still good even without that Ancient
The
farming?
difference is that now Drow doesn't have, like, the problem was before that Drow could just, you get shut her down.
Yeah.
She just goes to the jungle level 5 and it's
Right.
like, oh, I'm 6, and you farm the triple camp, no matter
Yeah.
what items you have. So there was no real way to stay ahead of the Drow unless you continuously chase her through the jungle.
So the fact
now,
that now she has to rotate maybe to other parts
then you
of the
actually have to
jungle.
play Dota.
Yeah.
So you can crush the Drow early on, and then there's no recovery mechanic for free.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, you can farm the jungle still, but
Right.
the ancient camp is worth like 200 gold
Yeah,
per
yeah,
minute.
it was
like,
ridiculous. But so you're happy that the changes to Drow, that should have done it. If you win with it, fair enough, but it wasn't just like a
well,
free
it's still
win.
definitely it's a probably one of the best 5 cores still in the patch. It's just not like this free win hero. Also, that might be a core Warlock.
Wow.
Could be a core Rubik, but I am a huge
this is what
believer.
we were talking about before.
Dude,
this is the flexibility in the draft.
Yeah, and the problem with Warlock as a support in this game is like your golem just dies to draft Visage, and you die to draft Visage. Whereas if you're able to go for like this mech Greaves, you can just frontline, you get a Fatal Bonds off. Upheaval against the EG lineup right now, only Pangolier is going to be able to play Dotes. Obviously, Puck could as well, but it's the Fatal Bonds that makes that just very difficult.
Similar theory to Liquids against Vici in that first game of the day as well, in the way that they've drafted the first 4. Similar ideas, flexibility, lockdown, don't know who's going to play where. Kind of feels like they've got 3 supports on the board.
Yeah, but right now you look at the Secret lineup. Do you see much physical damage?
Yeah, I was going to say they're kind of a bit of a lack of damage.
And that means BKBs on EG will be super effective. The last pick for Secret is going to be weird. I'm not quite sure direction they want to go. I could see maybe like a Broodmother come out, but I'm not a huge fan against Puck Pango. They want something that...
Yeah, that's generally been the go-to counter, isn't it? In the last few
One
months.
of them. You need something that provides like not damage, but you need to be able to get on top of the draft.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna have Fatal Bonds. You have Earth Spirit going in, but like who is going in? Who is your beef? Who's gonna actually secure the front lines so that these 4 squishier heroes can find the proper way to engage?
Geniuses turn to Templar Assassin.
TA.
Interesting. It's going to be important that they slow down this Visage's game because the Secret lineup needs a lot of time to come online. Also, this is an off-lane Earth Spirit Warlock or Rubik.
Wouldn't you want to put Warlock in the safe lane though? Like with Morph maybe TA mid, and then you can have.
Well, what I'm saying, one of those heroes has got to be a core.
Yeah.
So it could be. I just think it's way more likely Zai plays Warlock, but then it's like. Well, wait, actually.
Yeah, it could be mid Rubik.
Yeah, Yapzor plays Rubik and Earth Spirit, so.
Could be mid Rubik.
You could offlane the Morph, I guess. I don't know.
Keep them.
I mean, that's great though. I mean, if we've just come up with 4 different things between us, imagine what EG are going through. They're going,
Yeah, what are these lanes? What's happening?
Same thing, right?
And I think they're going to just last pick their 5 here, unless that's a fly Visage, but it feels like
Could
far
be
too
Visage,
good of.
yeah.
It's such a great core Visage game right now, though.
SF.
All right. Well, it's going to be a fly Visage.
TA.
It's going to be a fly Visage.
That is very bold by Sumail.
Sumail, old school SF, and the Visage will be played.
Picking it into his hard counter. And I know Shadow Fiend can win the lane, but it's a Zai Spirit.
Yep. Yeah, that's very interesting indeed, the way that's worked out, isn't it? I don't know if it changes your minds in terms of where you favoured the draft, but
S4 Puck, classic.
Yeah, absolute classic. Sumail SF, absolute classic these days as well. It harks back 4 years ago. Arteezy Drow. EG Flies Visage is classic too.
I like the adaptation. This is a 5 position that's way more scale happy, especially with the Drow on his team. And this is what I'd like to see EG move fly towards, because no longer is he able to play like these Wyvern Undying, just chilling in the back, never having gold. Like this is a hero.
You want him to take part.
Yeah, he can have an HOD. He'll have like a medallion at some point. Like he'll do some serious damage, and Yapzor will have a tough time playing against him, even though he's the 4 versus the 5.
Do you think that's actually a plan that they've got for this as well? Put their supports under pressure? Is it something EG look at this and think, if we can take Yapzor out?
I think that might be like reading too much into it. It's like they planned on this Drow, and they wanted Sumail to have last pick, and now it's just kind of trying to figure out, okay, we've got our lineup. What sort of tactics do we want to employ here? That could be something that plays a part in the game, but I'd rather start with this mid matchup. You have Sumail, self-proclaimed GOAT, taking a hero into the worst matchup in Dota against arguably the best player in the world at the moment. You know, you can't ask for more. It's EG Secret.
Okay.
I don't know who's going to win.
All right, good stuff. Thank you very much. That's the perfect way, actually, to end that particular segment with our analysis team and hand you over to our commentators. It's Blitz and Cat to take you to series number 3.
That's right. It's not too often that from the start of a draft, we really zone in on one lane that's going to be all important, but it is definitely going to be interesting. The Sumail versus mid 1 matchup, SF versus Templar Assassin. You heard Kyle's take on it. Blitz, what's your experience with that matchup?
I don't think it's like impossible. He said it was the worst matchup in Dota, and I played like Storm versus your techies before. Like they're definitely worse matchups than SFTA. Because I think that if you're successful early on with CS, and then you can just trade out farm against the TA, and then when you hit 6, you just ban in the mid lane or you get sentries.
What would you say the percentage of the matchup is?
I'd say it's like a 70-30 lane.
And that's
obviously that's why they picked it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see why because they last picked the SF into the TA, correct?
And that, I mean, like having such a matchup like that, especially against someone who is so prolific from the mid lane position as mid one is, this isn't like some slouches that they're facing up against. This isn't somebody that Sumail can just outscale and be like, I'm the king, I can do whatever I want. This is mid one we're talking about.
Yeah, I saw a year ago, it was like Sumail, I mean, you guys can go find the match history if you want. It was like Sumail played against me and Gunnar in a pub, and he was SF and Gunnar counterpicked him TA, and he solo killed him like 3 times. So like, I mean, Sumail won the matchup, but obviously mid one is, and that was also a different Gunnar.
Yeah.
But Sumail won that matchup. That was like about a year ago, around this time, I think. In June, so like June 16th.
So that was before Gunnar was really making his move.
But he was still like a top 100 player.
Yeah, he was.
And Sumail just dumpstered him. But I do like Secret's draft a lot more, personally. I think EG has to win the mid game, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because I think what it comes down to for me when top teams play against each other is how the team fights will go. Eventually, you will have to get into a team fight. If the laning phase isn't really one-sided, which it might be just for Secret with the way if like the TA really stomps the SF or anything like that, it means that if I look at Secret's lineup and if I look at EG's lineup objectively, I see a lineup that once people get BKBs, Secret's lineup, there's nothing that stops that on EG's side. Like, what does EG have? So then you need to get to a point where you need Hex on SF or something like that, or Hex on Puck to be able to start fights easy.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, really, your only stun is like Coil or Pango ult, right? Which I think has like, it has any sort of like high wind-up time stun like that is very ineffective against BKBs.
Yes. Like, you can get Blink Dagger, but at the end of the day, if you're still not able to start the fight as soon as you want it.
Yeah. Right. And Puppy's even here to make a matchup which I think is very TA favored, even more TA favored.
Yeah.
But Sumail, off the bat, I mean, having 3 CS here I think is really quite good, considering you have like half of her attack damage.
Yeah, base damage difference at the start is pretty bad. But he did go raises first.
Yeah.
And that's probably why, right? Otherwise, you shouldn't get that CS against mid one.
And I think the reason why you do it is because you don't want to get denied by the TA anyways, because you would stay level 1 after the first wave. You're not doing anything with your mana because you have no kill opportunity, I think, on the TA.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you want to pressure her in the lane because when her refract is only like level 1 or 2, you can get quite aggressive and just keep right-click chipping her while she's trying to CS. Because essentially right now she's a melee hero.
Yeah. Real quickly, let's talk about some of the other lanes. Zai's going to roll in onto Fly here with the help of Puppy, who's rotated out of that mid lane. Notice that Zai has actually started off with double stat shield. And you could see why against this. Normally that's for offlaners who want to be able to creep skip, but this is a lane that pretty much only has right-click harassment.
Yeah, and it's both range heroes, so it has even more value. I think for EG anyways, they have to... Oh, and mid one is quite low when we look over. I think EG have to do really well in the lanes to win this game. But Crit, getting quite low here, getting body blocked up by Nisha. He's go the other way.
That's going to be your first blood for Yapzor. You know, you say they have to do really well in their lanes, but they've got some supports that don't offer you a whole lot of great laning phase. 4-position Pango doesn't offer you much. He really only comes online once he has 6. And Visage, I mean, that's a pretty hit or miss support here as well. That's another very unique aspect of this draft, is that EG have gone for that 5-position Visage, like we saw back in the day.
This mid lane's getting like absolutely rolled, by the way, right now. And this is with the help of the Warlock early on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
17-2 compared to 9-3.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle said it was like the most one-sided matchup, but it is like 70-30, I think. Anyone that's played SF knows that it is quite nice for TA, just because you can't right-click early on, and the way that Refract works, like you have to one at a time burn with raises. Doesn't feel very fun.
Is he just like chain funneling Mingos to himself? Is that...
he found a regen rune, which really helped.
Oh, okay.
That's the caveat here that we have to add. And he keeps doing this where he double raises the wave, pushes it in, and then your Refract gets burned out very quickly.
I know from my time with CCNC that there's nothing that triggers mid laners more is the 2 or 4 minute regen rune.
Yeah.
That
can
can change
DD.
matchups.
The DD. The
Oh, the DD1?
haste and
See,
is like,
CCC,
whatever.
he always complained about the regen to me.
Oh, really?
It's like the regen just changes the matchup.
I mean, what if CGNC not get bothered, if I'm honest?
That's true, that's true. He
I
gets
like
triggered
Quinn,
a lot.
but if there's something that'll mildly perturb him, he'll let you know about it.
What do you think about Earth Spirit as a core?
I think it's really interesting. We used to see it a lot with Weehaw, and part of it is it's a core that comes with its own team fight. And so, like this hero, I mean, it doesn't scale excellently, but like in terms of the mid-game fights, and I think that's why they picked it against this like Drow lineup, where you have to have a hero that can just like fight in the mid-game. I think it's very effective, and it helps that I think Zai. I don't think he's the best player on Secret, but I think he might be the most valuable because of what he brings to the table. It's like, oh yeah, sure, you know, you used to be a 4-position player, so, you know, just Earth Spirited.
Okay.
And, you know, if you ask him about it, like half the heroes Puppy picks, and it's like, well, I haven't played it in a while, but, you know, just kind of do it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
It's just, I'd say he's like one of the more naturally skilled players in Dota because of his ability to do that as
Roland, nice kick, is going to be on the nail too, and he picks up the bounty rune. If they can get a kill off, it'd be great, but unfortunately Crit is here, and that's going to make this matchup a little bit more lopsided. He loses his life, even if he does pick up the bounty runes. 3 out of 4, I believe, went to Secret there. EG just pick up, or haven't picked it up yet, but it is sitting there.
Yeah, so we talked about how when it comes to like the late game and KBs are active and stuff like that, I do favor Secret's lineup, and so you need to win laning phase if you're EG. And when it comes to CS right now, they're doing very well for themselves.
Yeah,
they've won all 3 lanes quite handily too. When it comes to CS, that is a big difference. And so for Secret, game plan now shifts from trying to win the laning phase to now sort of just like I think you do some stacks and stuff like that.
It's a lucky shot pot, but if they can actually get on top of that try and start getting the healing, he's going to be good. Crit just not bringing enough damage to the table with the Visage as well. Both of them can be kind of low damage supports, so...
He is going to probably just suicide, right?
Yeah, there's no way he can get out of this one as he is 20 mana away from the next swashbuckle. Tossed over into the round of Tier 2 tower and takes a shot. He did force a rotation out of Yapzor, though, leaving Nisha alone with S4 top.
You know what my favorite thing about Yapzor and Rupik is the Fade Bolt KS.
Yes.
He's the king of it.
Yes. He will always take that last hit. And he wants that, like, his build is sort of unique, right? Where he goes for the very fast dual scepter.
Oh, good one. He does have traps available, and he's going to get real low, but Yapzor does come here to defend out. And Crit with some nice rotation early on. The move to go to the bottom lane into the mid lane. Yeah. I think helping his team sort of right the ship a little bit.
You could see the effectiveness of the Pango against the TA. I guess as a support position, you've got a great way to burn through refraction charges, right? It totals up to 6. If you get the swashbuckle through the hero, that's 5 different hits. So your refraction just gets burned out almost immediately. Mid one was good enough, though, to be able to get back. Doesn't actually get punished for that.
For EG, I think the way that you want to essentially move this next is to put Crit mid, allow him to soak up XP, and try to get his 6 relatively early on, so that you have a hero that can effectively match the pace of the Earth Spirit at the same time. And you want to get that, I think, before Puppy hits 6 himself, which now with the 2 tomes upgrade makes it so that your 5 position doesn't just completely get screwed.
Oh, that's right. Do you think that's where we're going to be heading? Is it the 4 and 5 position, get both the tomes? We get our supports, both of them, to level 6 guaranteed? Or do you think there's going to be any core shenanigans with that?
I think with Warlock especially, you want the 6 online as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Like high impact 5 positions that have like these really long ult cooldowns, like Lion, Warlock. I think you want to get these going as fast as possible because you want your first run through of it to not have to matter as much. Because when you hit the mid game, like 16, 17 minutes, you just hit level 6. It means that your ulti usage has to be a lot more careful. Whereas if you use it at level 10, realistically speaking, like all that is tempo. Right. And you don't feel so bad for having failed an attempt with it.
Right.
Whereas the
it's like the Juggernaut who like picks up his level 6 and he immediately tries to kill the offlaner with it. Like you might as well use it, put it on cooldown.
Why not? If it fails, whatever. Yeah. If it works, fantastic for you. You've upgraded your laning phase a little bit as Zai with his level 6.
Just gonna take him out here with the stones.
You achieve harmony.
I think you're actually the perfect person to talk to about Earth Spirit Core, just because really The only real notable instance of core Earth Spirit was, as you said, the Weehaw mid. I can't actually remember a whole lot of core Earth Spirits outside of him.
I mean, Weehaw's just obsessed with weird things.
How did the team feel about it?
I mean, the thing about Weehaw is, like, you just kind of had to let him do his thing. There's just some players that I think are really unique in that regard, where you just sort of have to trust them as top.
Oh, this time around, S4, he'd been pretty careful with all of his orb usage, but that time he tries to go for a CS right as they initiate on him.
That was, the timing of that was really well done by Secret. There's not a whole lot that S4 can do. That's one of those plays where you just, like, give them a hand, you know, like, well done.
I almost want to see that again just to see if they actually, like, if they knew he was going to orb, like he set up, you know, because how you sometimes telegraph that, right? You hit the range creep once or twice, you hit this other creep a couple of times. You can know,
I think so,
when the Linas are going to throw the offensive Dragon Slave, or in this case, the Puck orb.
Oh, Nisha.
Oh, Sumail making an early rotation, almost burst down Nisha, but Nisha will be able to waveform away, and Yapzor, who stole Swashbuckle, was able to get out as well.
And Sumail going to go for the Yule Scepter. Be early on. I mean, he's had a really good game. He's 700 net worth up as the X-Men Dark Phoenix replay. Okay, here we go.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was
Nisha's
yeah, that was Nisha's orb. Oh god, that's gonna be really confusing. I just realized we have Morphling and Rubik on the same team, so there's gonna be potentially 3 of the same ability, and we're gonna have to figure out which is which.
Orb on orb on orb.
So that was just straight up a good silence from the stolen Nisha. Puck Zai gonna be caught here, silenced up for a little while. Managed to get the coil to interrupt the roll out.
Did he get coil stolen?
And does get it stolen. So Yapzor is going to go with that one. Crit's just going to roll it up here onto the Warlock, and they're going to burst him down. Crit is immediately looking for the next target. That's going to be Yapzor, who still has that coil, but doesn't really have a good way to get out of this one. Throws the coil on to fly underneath the tier 1 tower. But triple kill for S4. This is an S4 Puck, boys. You do not want to give him the kind of head start. This is a TI winning hero for him.
Yeah, and this is the kind of pace that they have to set with their lineup.
Oh, Zai's just going to go for it here. He's not even going to wait for the rest of his allies to TP in. They're slowly going to trickle in now, but he's already got the damage over time. Fly's going to go down here. They're going to try and pick up S4 as well, but the long cooldown there of the TP just means that Nisha couldn't be there in time to clean up extra kills, so they trade out a 3 for a 5. That can't feel good.
Yeah, but you protected the tower, which I think is more important. Like, people shouldn't, I think, really like think about heroes like, at least in like the first like 12 minutes of the game. Really, the towers matter the most.
Yeah.
Because that'll open up farm for everybody. So Zai dying there, it does suck because you're trading, but if you think about it in terms of you're able to slow down a mid-game pace lineup, like that's the objective here, right? The bigger thing for Secret is to defend their mid tower. Like, I think you just sit your Warlock with his level 6 behind this tower and just wait for an opportunity to rock, because he's got it right now.
The smoke up on drop and Crit is going to be able to bounce back and forth. The Dream Coil, actually, the Warlock Golem slowing him up for a second, but he still managed to get a chain zone onto the TA. Big ultimate let loose by Sumail, almost finished up Zai as he gets Yule Scepter. A second raise, all he needs is the right clicks now to be able to finish him off. That is Evil Geniuses taking on 3 of Secret. They all fall. They're going to try and push this mid-tier 1 tower. And I'll add one more thing that we didn't actually see on camera. Secret accidentally doubled smoked for that one.
I saw the poof, poof.
Yeah.
Just a little bit sloppy. That's, I mean, they knew the move was coming. You saw everybody abandon the bottom tower. You just naturally assume with that. I think they probably thought they had enough with the Warlock ults. But if you look at it here, they just don't have the damage.
Yeah. Especially with mid 1 being the one that's gone on first and controlled up the most. And I guess both those supports have great ways to burn through Refraction. You've got Swashbuckle, which is either 4 or 5 hits, depending on how you go use it. And then you've got the Visage Familiars, which are obviously just going to burn through it super fast as well. This is definitely going to be a tougher game for mid 1 as the Templar Assassin, especially since he didn't get that big win out of the laning phase.
Yeah, I think what Secret's going to do is they're just going to throw bodies at the mid lane and try to keep Nisha's game as clean as possible.
Yeah.
Get him a BKB early on as Sumail. He's got the Yule Scepter. He'll break it himself.
Crit's going to roll on in here. Hitting Zion first, trying to hit him again. He's going to try and roll back. He does manage to clip the TA, but not enough to stop this damage, and gets Rolling Thunder stolen by YapzOr. That is something you're going to have to be real careful.
That was his coil too, right? That he laid out to kill Sumail. So they take the top tower. They're playing opposite end of the map, as they should, I think, just move away from here. Like, just let Nisha do his own thing, get like 3 items and a BKB, and this morph's going to be nigh unkillable here, as Puppy, that was a little greedy to walk up there like that, but
just trying to either suicide, get vision down, or doing one of those plays. Sometimes, like, I feel like Solo gets away with it the most. The kind of, like, I'm going to suicide in, and if I die, I die, but I'm going to get good vision down if I don't get caught. I feel like Solo somehow gets away with it successfully the most.
So, do we have TA traps all the way, Roche?
Doesn't look like it, no. Not yet.
I'd like to, for Secret, I think that defending Roshan and allowing Nisha to play opposite from the other 4 members of the team are probably the most important things that you're going to do. And for EG, you probably, I mean, it's the opposite, right? You want to try to take this mid tower as soon as possible because you've taken the bottom one. You get control. You protect the triangle for your Drow Ranger, and just get like aggressive everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you want to make the map as small as possible for Secret right now.
Fly. Good. Kind of like, I'm not sure if it's a total bluff, but he just positions himself very aggressively with his familiars. Says, I'm going to take this bounty rune, and Secret do not feel good enough about challenging him for that. They get 2 on the other side, so it's not like they lost out there. I do want to talk about our forward position, Pango's build, a 4-0-4 build. Which is pretty interesting, especially since the change where you no longer get the silence, just the disarm. Against somebody like the TA, that's going to be fantastic. Against the Morphling, you're going to have to feel as good. But then also the fact he really does need Shield Crash just to prevent the remake from stealing it. He's going to be able to get a swashbuckle in here, but won't stop S4 from dying, giving up that unstoppable 6-time kill streak. And that's not only going to feel bad just from a goal perspective, but also the change in experience.
YapzOr cubing it up. He's coming.
He's going to find him.
He's coming.
And he's going to stick on top of him. There is no outs, it seems, for Crit. So they give up the 3 and the 4 position here, while Mid-1 is pressuring the mid-tier 2 tower. Arteezy's going to fight it back. Sumail blinking forward is going to be able to find Puppy here and just lets it go. He's fine with letting out that ultimate for an instant kill on a Warlock.
8-11, 1,000 lead right now for EG, but not really the position I think they wanted to be in at this phase of the game.
Yeah.
Because we talked about their lack of like mid-game or like late-game team fight. I think you want to be at least like 4K ahead if you were EG at this point. And I think they probably expected to take that mid tower.
Yeah.
As Nisha has now entered the fray.
They're going to be getting a 2-man coil, but he's silenced up right now. S4 is now dead. Arteezy does manage to get really good silence for the side here. Hitting up at the high ground, not enough to be able to finish up Zai. These heroes are too tanky. And now Sumail, he's going to be forced back here. The familiars do manage to stall things out a bit, but it also means some familiar bounty for Mid-1, an extra 200. Oh, just 100 gold.
Okay. 2 HP. But yeah, this is the issue that we outlined with EG's lineup, is just like the sheer lack of control. If you look at 3 of their cores, I mean, it's really only Puck that comes with, you know, in quotes, we'll say stun or some sort of lockdown. Whereas if you look at Secret's lineup, you've got TA traps with the ability to close distance. Same with Morphling, he's got a way to close distance himself. And Earth Spirit, as a 3 position, I mean, you have a core hero that can just roll in, start fights for you. You saw he was very tanky when he did go in.
Like, if you had to identify one hero as like the biggest problem with this EG draft, who's it going to be? Because for me, it's Visage. I'm not really feeling the impact of this 5-position Visage.
It's likely the Visage for me.
Yeah.
Like, there's an issue with the lineup when you see EG win a 4-for-0 fight mid, and it doesn't, because Secret saved the mid tower, it doesn't impact the game. And that's what I meant in the early 15 minutes. If you're a Dota player, you shouldn't really worry about those deaths. Like, you look silly and fans might criticize you, but who cares about that? Yeah. If you're a pub player and you're defending your tower, and like you're able to force them back because they're all at half HP, realistically, what you lost there is, like, if I had to add it up, like 700 gold plus XP. Whereas you save that mid tower, which is more gold than that. It controls more of the map for you too. It makes it so
controls her own ancients, which is a huge farming point.
You'll get that money back in the long run.
Right.
Which is why that bottom part, you know, when Zai just dies, you pointed out, is, well, it's a 3 for 5. Like, technically, yeah, if you look at it like that, but you're defending towers and you're extending the game in that regard for yourself.
That is something that we have yet to take the mid-tier 1 tower as well as the tier 1 offlane. This is a Drow lineup. Now, Drow Ranger does scale better into the late game than she used to.
Yes,
Right.
she's no longer an all or nothing,
Radiant's
Yeah,
middle
like,
tower is
all-in
under
threat,
attack.
like she used to be. Before, it felt like if you didn't win the game in 25 minutes with Drow Visage, the game was just over. But now, because of her ulti, it's much better. But I think she's a lot worse than Morph now, right? Or a lot worse versus Morph?
Well, I would argue that Morph is actually one of the heroes that she
Because of the
remains
armor.
very relevant.
Yeah.
Because you can build armor against it, but
Morph
what
would have to go, like,
Morphling is
AC.
building armor, you
Yeah.
know? What Morphling is like, all right, guys, I'm going to get an Assault Cuirass on my Morphling, you know? The silence out. Pango is going to be able to get to the other side of the river. Maybe Fly won't be as lucky as he's going to get rolled on by Zai. Pops his ultimate, silenced up, but he's got a Blade Mail, so the Drow Ranger really can't turn and fight that Earth Spirit, who's just going to run down Fly eventually here. Fly even turning around, knowing that it's all over for him. 11-11, but it definitely feels like Secret have full control of this game as we approach the 20-minute marker.
And Zai understands his job too. Initiate fights, pop Blade Mail.
Yeah,
Very easy.
just like he did it at bottom lane to defend the tower, right? It's like,
Oh, Zai picked up the rune.
pops his
the
Blade
Blade
Mail, is returning a lot of damage on the S4. Mid-1 coming in, trying to follow up on that with his BKB now activated. Sumail actually gets the kill on Puppy. Yapzor rolling through S4, is able to get a kill there. And crit.
The cube looks so funny to me.
Yeah.
It's just like a Rubik's Cube of death.
I gotta say, I feel very strongly about this.
Oh.
Yule Scepter. And he's still got his ultimate too, and that's overfresh. Just keep faded out. They do manage to get on top of him still. Mid-1 is dead, and now Yapzor, who's stolen SF's ultimate, does manage to force staff himself onto low ground. Crit's gonna pursue, doesn't manage to get the lucky shot. Slow here. But where can Yapzor really go to escape from this one? He's going to have to juke his way through the trees and find a TP point. That's just not possible with Sumail hot on his tail. There is something to be said. EG don't have the objectives that they wanted, but if they do manage to, they've remained relevant in network.
Yeah, I don't think Nisha had TP, because he just had 2 sent to him. And if he has a TP there, and he TPs onto the Shrine with the Aegis and Manta, like, I am pretty sure he just kills everyone. You can stop Sumail from being able to pop his ulti. You most likely save your TA in that situation too, but yeah. Just going to take a look at the replay real fast.
And look, the refraction just like wears out just as he goes back down. But it didn't even matter, just because all those instances of damage just burn through it so quickly. It's almost like their draft like over focuses on TA in some way. I mean, like if they lose, it'll be easier to say like, oh, your draft is too fixated on the hero.
We'll see. I think, what would you give the odds right now? Without
I
loading
mean,
up the thingy.
I would say 60-40 to the favor of Secret. Yeah.
I'd probably say it's like, I'd say similar. If I'm being like absolutely exact, I'd say like 65-35.
Yeah.
Load it up.
I think I'd feel maybe just a little bit more positive about Drow late game.
Oh, they actually think that EG is gonna win.
Oh, really? So they're actually saying it's like a 51-49 matchup.
Interesting.
Maybe, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see how... Like, it has surprised me how good Drow Ranger is late game, but I still have to imagine, like, TA, Morphling, probably going to out-carry, but we'll see. RTG setting it up here.
There are BKBs now, like that's what Mid-1 decided to go for.
Yeah.
So they're going to run it. They do have the rock.
They are going to be able to get on top of this Pango, but don't let him get off that Rolling Thunder. They will not. Yapzor.
They're probably going to go for
here.
2.
They finish him off. And that is one thing. Like every single time Secret's won a team fight, I feel like they've converted it into an objective afterwards.
And more importantly, like they brought Nisha along.
Yeah.
And I think he's strong enough to fight at this point. Plus, when Mid-1 committed, we talked about how important BKB was going to be on the side of Secret. Like once Mid-1 commits to that BKB early on, I think you want to take advantage of that.
Pushing up into the high ground already. Mid-1's just, all right, I'm going in. S4 is going to be able to get the coil. 2-man silence, immediately taken off by the Manta from Nisha. as well as the BKB from mid one. It'll allow them to retreat relatively easily. Looks like they're going to have to leave their captain behind. Captain Puppy, hide. Maybe there's a corner here.
It's undiscovered territory, man. My favorite is when, you know, there's always like two types of players there. It's the captains that just die. You know, they just stop moving. I've never seen Kuroki ever lead anybody on a hot pursuit.
Yeah.
You know, whereas like
a...
Puppy and I think Insania as well, for example, like they'll fight to the end. Throwing spells behind them.
Curl's like, this isn't worth the mental, like the taxation on my overall mental game here. I'm just going to accept it and start calling strategy.
I love those. Just like some players will fight to the death and some you just like, oh, this is a very nice smoke opportunity here.
Oh, if they actually catch both these heroes, it's going to be massive. They need to be able to spot mid one. Here's Refraction's going to get burned through. The Rolling Thunder managed to bounce back into him. Nails Puppy to finish him off as well. But Yapzors has stolen the Rolling Thunder and is off to chase some heroes of his own. Unfortunately, couldn't get through that tree, but will be able to bounce back. A beautiful hit on both S4 as well as Crit. They're going to be able to grab up Fly as well. It starts off with 2 kills, but in the end, Evil Geniuses are the one who lose out on the fight. How were they able to take that so confidently in a what could have been a 3 versus 5? Drone Ranger wasn't there, but they didn't know that.
Because now the Morph, when he knows there's no threats, I mean, Nisha just goes in. He doesn't care. Nisha Morphling is very, very scary.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's been relatively untouched.
What are the threats to Morph? Are there any threats in this game to him?
Yeah, I think, for example, like the heroes that would annoy him are if Pango can get on top of him and they can burst immediately. Right. They'd have to do a real quick. They'd have to layer the silences. So like Dro would have to silence first or something like that, and then when he pops his Manta, the Pup then has the follow-up, and then they hit him in the air. I mean, it's like a very specific way to have to do things as Arteezy.
In trouble. He's going to go for the TP out, but there's the long-range telekinesis from Yapzor.
That was a real weird position for him to be in, too. No real help coming his way.
Yeah.
As we see again, mid one also popped the refraction right before the SF ulti, too. That made the fight extend a little bit longer than I think they would have liked to.
Yeah.
Plus, Zai's build just allows him to go in, and you see that everyone turns away from him, which makes it so that when Nisha waveforms in, you know, he just parts it.
Yeah. I'm going to say, like, very strongly about this. I don't think you go 4-0-4. You go 4-1-3. And every single time you pop a Rolling Thunder, you immediately shield crash.
Yeah.
That's like every single... I feel like that's one of those things for your allies flame you. You're like, you need to pop that ability as quick as possible. You can't give him Rolling Thunder. It's like just too disruptive.
Yeah, the fight's...
Rubik to get.
The entire point is, when you have a one position like this, you want to make his life as easy as possible. So you just throw stuff on the ground to make the initiation just like really easy. So like when Zai suicides in with his Blade Mail pops his ulti, it makes the team fight very chaotic to begin with, and your entire focus is on this Earth Spirit. So then by the time, you know, the Morphling enters the fray, you've popped most of your abilities.
Yeah. Like, to kill this Morphling, Evil Geniuses, as you said, have to get some sort of very complicated layered setup where they get the initiation. They 1-2 stun, silence, you know, but in the middle of the team fight where you've already casted some abilities, that's going to be tough to do.
Oh, he has his own familiars now, too, which is like one of the hardest abilities to take.
Yeah, certainly. Fly's going to die, too. So now Yapzor can use his familiars to help chase down the other familiars. Not that they...
Mid one's going to get an extra 200 gold there. I did think that was a very nice smoke by EG.
Yeah.
As Nisha comes the Earthman himself. He's going to roll across very aggressively.
Can we see the win percentage again? I'm just curious how Dota looks at this game. Okay.
Now it's more in line with what...
Yeah. You feel that's about right?
I mean, that's what I thought it was 5 minutes ago, but now I think it's probably closer to like 75-25.
Yeah.
Maybe give it an extra 10%.
Shots out immediately. Manta's off the first silence.
Like he's got E-Blade. Once he gets like E-Blade Scotty, like realistically, he's the scariest hero in the game, and he does the most damage.
Yeah. Even if they layer silences or, you know, something like that, he's still got his self E-Blade option.
I could see a way where they do layer that and they get a kill, but at some point he's going to realize that he needs a BKB, and that makes him like absolute as he just rolls back and forth.
They're going to get the Rolling Thunder out from Crit. Immediately shield crashes. No steal here. The Golem's going to be able to slow down. Evil Geniuses are TC standing and fighting. Design immediately goes to the back line. BKB, they are going to get off the ultimate here. While Crit managed to keep these heroes locked down for a long time, but the mid-1 BKB means that he can turn and fight. Really great control. I mean, Earth Spirit did what he could to go over to the back line. Looks like we're going to see Puppey eventually die here.
And that was Nisha going in very aggressively. Like I said, he's going to find out in one fight that he needs BKB. And this might just be that fight, as Puppey did buy back. They're trying to protect the Roshan.
They don't have a buyback on Morphling.
I mean,
it's like they were trying to feign some confidence that I don't think they can take the fight without it.
Yeah.
Evil Geniuses are daring Secret as they push forward into the Shrine. They're going to try and get some vision control of this area.
They did layer it once. I mean, it's going to happen, right? Eventually, where you're going to catch them unawares like that.
I mean, Zai went to that back line and just like was controlling so much attention from the Drow Ranger, from the SF, that I was a bit surprised that that they were able to get that Nisha kill in the first place. But
yeah, because of that mistake now too, you're going to give up this Aegis with the cheese, and this resets a lot of the game. Puppey fought back to try to deter them, but it wasn't even up yet, and without the Morphling available. Like, Secret has fought 3 times without the Morph, and they've lost all 3 times. I still think, like, yeah, now he has the BKB queued up.
Yeah.
Because in this game before, it's like this really weird thing in Dota. You know, hold that thought as EG's waiting on top of this high ground here. Zai's going to jump in on
and actually lands onto the SF. He pops his BKB, picks up the bounty through an S4 in the back line. Look at that Dream Coil. Locking down the 4. There's going to be the BKB activated, but they're wasting so much time trying to kill S4. Meanwhile, Rich is controlling up everybody right now. Yapsor, the last shot to the high ground, is going to be able to find him for the ultra kill. He wants to mail, and now the silent slowdown onto mid-1, who no longer has his BKB. What a setup from S4 with just a beautiful initiation that made the team fight for Evil Geniuses so damn easy.
And they stacked up for the raises as well, and now EG are just... And that was a really nice team fight. They baited on top of the high ground. They didn't even... this is a really confusing position from Secret because they don't have the Warlock ulti to stop the SF from just BKB popping his ult. And Zai keeps running into the SF, who right after getting stunned up, just pops his BKB, turns around.
Mid-1 popping his BKB and trying to chase down S4 means his magic immunity timing had no impact on the team whatsoever.
Yeah, now they're just in it. This is gonna likely be, this is why Drow strats are still very good, because you're gonna get double racks right now.
Yeah, you got a double damage, so that's gonna be 2 lanes of racks. They can't go for 3 because the tier 1 is actually still alive in the top lane.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That not anymore though.
They sort of rushed that engagement. Considering like EG, they just sat on top of the high ground. They had Aegis cheese, plus you had no Warlock ulti to begin with. It wasn't even like you were fighting at your shrine. You took the fight up into the high ground like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, the adjustment I think that Zai has to make is you have to stop rolling in on the SF.
Now you have to be almost like, you were super fearless at the start, but now you need to be a little bit more careful with what team fights you take.
Yeah, now that BKBs are up, you have to be a little bit more careful about how you take those. Like, because in the past, you could just go in and SF has to like pop heals offensively or defensively. He's got blade mail, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But now it becomes an issue where, you know, it just goes and dies in 2 seconds. Mid-1 now has a nullifier. So now they have a way of jumping on top of Sumail with the roll if they get the instant commitment from mid-1 at the same time. Then they can blow him up. So that's a pretty big item, but they still need... Like, I feel like Nisha should have just gone BKB after the E-Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, going for the Scotty on top of that, I think is just...
And this now means that Evil Geniuses, net worth-wise, is in a fantastic position, and they can start preempting some of the late-game problems that they are going to be having.
Yes.
You said later on to the game, the BKBs, you're going to need this scythe. Well, that's exactly what Sumail's build now, as he almost has it, in fact.
Yeah, he's had a very good game. From the laning phase on, finding kills around the map. As they're going to go for a smoke here, they want to try to utilize the Aegis. And Secret, I mean, they might have just missed out on their timing because their Morph still doesn't have BKB, and he's going to be like a full item behind it. Because the Hex will come out before that. And now I think it's really hard for him to play Dota. So you're going to see mid-1 here. They want to make the full wraparound. They don't want to go on the BKB target. And in fact, they're going to come through this bottom lane. They're trying to bait somebody to deal with Fly's familiars.
it's so common for people to play on that triangle area that they may be almost too far away if somebody
They know
shows
now.
to defend this push. But the sentry revealing the opposing sentry that's laid down means they know about the smoke to bottom.
It's fine, you know. You just you got full hex now.
Yeah.
You desperately, you still need BKB on Morph. Like, I hold to the fact that if Morph has BKB right now, like, he just gets to go in,
Radiant's top
he can
shrine
assault the
is under
back line,
attack.
he'll make life easier for everybody, but without it,
Do you think, let's say we just gave BKB right now. Do you think, even with this kind of net worth difference, do you think he could still win the fight against EG? Because this is a pretty massive, we're seeing a lot of items being picked up now for EG.
now you're in a really awkward position.
Yeah.
Like, the game has changed. Because you were assuming, or I was assuming, I guess incorrectly. at
Even
this
net
point.
worth, if they had BKB, like
Then
they
I
just
think
run
the
over the
Morph,
fight. Yeah.
Then I think it's genuinely pretty impossible for, I mean, look at their lineup. What is there
Yeah.
that goes through the BKB?
Right.
Until you get Ags on Puck. But I don't think he really, like, would love to go Ags on Puck this game.
Yeah.
Like, I think he
Radiant's
wants
top tower is
more
under
of a
attack.
defensive position.
And now Evil Genius is one step away from being able to claim Megas and presumably win this game against Secret. Solar Crest complete for the Visage. We've got Pango with Greaves, Crimson Guard, a Javelin as well, a Dro Ranger with BKB, Manta, Hurricane Pike, and this SF who's loaded up on items, who's just recently completed the Scythe of Ice.
Radiant
A lot of big
ascends.
changes. Meanwhile, you look at the Secret lineup and it's like, what are the latest items? Well, we're still working on that Scotty BKB. We're still, like, we have the Nullifier. That was one change that we haven't seen the impact of it
Okay,
in
so
the next team
he
fight.
skipped the Scotty, right?
Yep, and went straight to the BKB.
Okay,
So he's
yeah,
got this
he-
awkward...
It doesn't matter. I think Nisha, if they lose this game, will be kicking himself
Yeah.
and saying to himself, like, that was so silly.
I played it too greedy.
Yeah.
I tried to...
Let me say, every core player loves delaying BKB as long as they can. From personal experience,
Yeah.
if you can get BKB like 6th item,
Uh-huh.
you're rolling in it.
Yeah.
It's a very tough thing to do.
If I can do the 75-minute, 10-second BKB, ooh, yeah.
It's not even that. It's like there's just something that I think everybody dislikes about having to get that item for whatever reason. It's not a cool item. It's a game-winning item. You know those like gyrocopters that go like drums BKB? Those
Yeah.
guys are trying to win Dota.
Uh-huh.
You know,
But the guys who go like S and Y, now I'm thinking about trying to get some other damage item,
yeah, like.
get some butterflies going.
But the best part about BKB is it enables the rest of your items. It allows you to use your E-Blade and be cool and get in and stuff like that.
It enables the rest of your team as well.
Yeah. So now he does have BKB, but the scary part for him is there's a Blink Hex on the enemy team.
Yeah.
And so Puppy's job right now becomes incredibly important. Like how Puppy backs up his team with the ulti.
All the side being used here. Trying to blow him up as quick as possible. They've almost done. The Earth Spirit is almost dead, but again, it's forward to the back line with a beautiful coil. They're finally going to finish up that Earth Spirit. Roll on in, trying to finish up Zero's Nisha with his BKB. Is managing to get out. Puppy drops the golem just to make sure the rest of his team will be able to retreat, but it's going to cost him his life as well. The 5 and the 3 position of Team Secret are now dead. They're going to have to defend 3 versus 5 against Evil Geniuses, who again are just one step away from Megas. I don't know how they're possibly going to be able to formulate some sort of defense here.
Yeah, there's no Warlock Golem either.
No BKB for 40 seconds, no Golem.
Nisha's got to be careful as does go in on S4.
With the refraction, gives him a lot of leeway to play forward here, just trying to get that one pick off that turns it into a 3 versus 4. Playing the front lines as well, knowing that he can't really give up a whole lot of objective damage here. But that tier 3 is going to fall probably in this next push as RTZ just lays into a Decisive Device being used. A refraction guards against it for a while. Now the jump in from mid one with his BKB activated with a Nullifier as well. It's almost enough to blow up the Drum Ranger for the E-Blade. Saves him with some mail. Now the cheese gets activated. And now they're going to turn on to Nisha, who gets a little bit far forward here. The Quell managed to catch mid one though. And they're going to try and focus on him. He does have another round of refraction, but doesn't have the time to use it. He'll use it on the next life though, as he does buy back immediately. Look at this Warlock slow. But Evil Geniuses get to the high ground and know that they can turn and potentially fight here as they still have all 5 up.
That was so well done. He got the E-Blade off at the very last second. Baits him back in with the cheese. That mid one is in such a weird position where he all in to try to stop that push. Because maybe if you kill the Drow Ranger there, you get time to reset the fight. All heroes respawn, the game feels okay, but now Secret, they're in such a do or die position.
And with the cooldown and reduction as well, that E-Blade's always going to be up for the SF. The Scythe device is always going to be up.
I will say, I don't think I gave EG enough credit in this game. Because, you know, I attribute a lot of it to, like, Nisha not getting BKB.
Yeah.
But they played the team fights very well. I think Sumail is, like, on really good form right now.
What did Sumail do right in the team fights?
I feel like his item choice was great. Going for the Yules, going for, like, the
blink Yules, like, get the instant kill.
I think he's just found good farm on the map.
Yeah.
The way that he plays the team fights, too, like, he's very patient. He lets Zai continue to come into him. And then he just kind of plays the backline with raising. Like,
theoretically, it's good versus Morphling too. That build, even though we never saw him get the pick off on Morphling, the blink Yules is good against him too.
Still, I think EG, you know, rightfully so, they're just a little bit hesitant. You have so much map control, why not just wait for the next Roche?
Yeah, and we've got, is it going to be, oh god, this part of Dota is kind of fun for me now. It's like, which one's it going to be? It's a Refresher Shard instead of
which one would you prefer? Dude, the Ags on
I think the Ags on SF would be legit.
That's what I just thought too. Yeah,
but
really on anybody.
I think like almost, like I feel like 90% of the time you want the Refresher Shard over the Ags.
The SF Ags, the Dro Ags, the Visage, the Puck.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the Pango would be the worst.
Yeah, that's not even that bad.
Yeah. It's not like you have a Lycan on your team and you're like, oh, we gotta give our Lycan Ags.
Yeah. I feel like Refresher Shard, like 2 BKBs in the team fight. Is on Scythe's game leading like a secret jump. They're going to try and get the initiation, but they fail to. The Scythe, they're immediately managed to kill Zai. Crit's going to try and roll in, stop this. Nisha still has his full BKB going out, but he has to retreat from all that damage from that Draw Ranger. S4 is going to try and pursue here. Sumail as well, with the E-Blade going out. Refresher down, but it tried to blow him up, and they did him. Morphling hitting him with a buyback, and the T8 not going to be saved by the E-Blade. He actually gets blown up by it, and now the Morphling is forced to defend without his semi-carry in mid one, as the Raxes are about to fall, and Mega Creeps available soon for Evil Geniuses. They'll finish it up and back up, and Secret are just going to call it here. They had 3 alive, but they know there's very little chance in them holding this game against EG. They're going to call it quits. Evil Geniuses take game 1 in this 2 games.
It's very well done by them, and it all happened in such a hurry. Off of that failed fight, where they just got gone on, and then they went for the aggressive smoke to try to pick up the bounty runes.
Yeah.
They just walk up that hill, they get coiled by S4, who had very good positioning in that team fight too.
It felt like Sumail was oftentimes creating a lot of space for everybody else to do things. Whether it was like finding his pickoffs, but also like he was oftentimes being the one jumped on. And he still manages to do a lot of work in team fights.
And you see Nisha just like that face palm for a second. It's like,
yeah.
He had so much momentum in that game, and